What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Just like I stated earlier, I was on here a couple of hours ago, and I had to shut down my live early because I had to help my husband handle some business. But as I stated, I was going to continue with my part two, talking about the high value Pookie predators in the Black community. Part two. I felt it was imperative that this be discussed because there's a lot of sexual demonic perversion going on in the Black community. Now, evidently, all men do not have this problem. So I'm not going to say this is an issue for all men, but the bottom line is we have a lot of child molesters, registered sex offenders. A lot of that is going on within the Black community. And the problem is, I find it ironic that the Black YouTube community sector is always hitting on issues with Black women, and I get it. There are a lot of issues that are going on with Black women within the Black community. A lot of us are not making wise decisions. We're having multiple children for multiple men. A lot of us are abusing the welfare system. I get it. Black women, we know there's a lot of issues that a lot of us have to work on. And a lot of us are in denial about it. And a lot of us don't feel we need to work on it. But the bottom line is we know that there are many Black women that have put themselves in a very bad predicament. But I find it ironic that no one is addressing these Black men that are basically partaking in immoral sexual behavior. And like I said, it's not all Black men. These are just the ones that have sexually demonic perverse issues to where they have to sexually tamper with the innocence of young women and young children. Now, as I was stating, none of the men are talking about this in the Black YouTube sector. And a lot of them are not understanding it's a high percentage of predators within the Black community. And the ones that are being targeted the most are these single Black mothers. The single mothers, they are a predator's dream come true. Okay, and these are the ones that they are targeting. And a lot of the times, women want so badly to have a man in a household, especially if they are raising children by themselves. A lot of, I will say this, a lot of women have gotten lazy with parenting their own children. I'm going to just go ahead and put it out there. A lot of us as Black women, we have become lazy with parenting. So we are looking for extra help. We are looking for men to come in our households and play stepdaddy, be replacement daddies, not even realizing that the men that we're picking up, these single mothers are picking up, are probably men that have sexually demonic perversion issues, because we're going by how they look, and we're not taking the time to get to know these men before we welcome them into our home, before we welcome them around our children. A lot of Black women are not doing their research. And the thing is, a lot of Black men in the Black YouTube sector, none of the male content creators, they are not addressing men who have this issue. I hear certain content creators talk about it every once in a while, but no one is really hitting on it. So anyway, as I stated, I was doing my live stream earlier and I had to shut it down because I had things I had to do. So what made me feel the need to address this particular issue was because, as y'all know, I am a correctional officer and I am in the presence of inmates all of the time. And there's a high percentage of Black men that are being incarcerated, not for drugs so much. That's one thing, but not just for murders. We know there's a lot of Black on Black crime that's going on within the Black community. Not just for domestic violence. You know, we know there are some abusive men out there who will put their hands on women, who will put their hands on children, but there's a even bigger issue at hand, and a lot of people are not touching on it. The biggest issue is I am constantly encountering inmates that are registered sex offenders. In my line of work, I cannot tell you how, I can't explain to any of you ladies or guys how many black men are coming into my facility, coming to my correctional facility where I work with a registered sex offender record. There are grown men that are going around here molesting and raping children. And this is an issue that nobody wants to address it. We want to talk about things that entertain the black community, but we don't want to talk about things that educate the black community. And a lot of these sisters out here, y'all need to be educated because y'all not taking it serious. You have a lot of handsome, a lot of successful, you have a lot of popular, high value, high social status men that are demonically perverted. And they have strong sexual urges for young children, for children. And you don't know that because a lot of these men, they know how to play the part. So I'm going to share a screen with y'all just to give y'all a scenario as far as what a lot of black women are not paying attention to when it comes to being thirsty, picking up men, allowing these men to come into their home. They don't know these men from Adam. They're allowing their kids to call these men daddy. You don't know who you're allowing your children to become attached to. You don't know what type of human being you're really dealing with, because these high value Pookie predators in the black community, they know how to dress the part. They know how to conceal themselves as perverts. And if you are thirsty, if you're a thirsty black woman, if you're a desperate black woman, you want so badly for your kids to have a daddy because your other ain't shit daddies ain't about shit. And you men, y'all got to be careful, because if you are not married to the mother of your child, if you are not with the mother of your child, what's up, Water Sniper and everybody coming to the chat? Do you not know if your baby mama is single, eventually she gonna want a man? I know a lot of you guys, y'all are not thinking about stuff like this, but if you are not married to the mother of your child, 9 times out of 10, she's going to end up with another dude that's going to be in your child's life. And depending on what kind of woman she is, if you have a child from a woman that's gullible and is thirsty, and she's one of those women, she wants a man by any means necessary, your daughter, your son could be in danger of a sexual pedophile, because women are not using their brains anymore. They are meeting men within 2-3 days and letting these men move in their section, their apartments. They are allowing their children to call these men daddy. They're allowing these men to get close to their children. And it's gotten to a point to where a lot of black women, we are thinking that when a man is interested in us or shows interest in us, we automatically think it's about us. When the truth of the matter is, some of these dudes, not all black men, if it doesn't apply, you ain't got to reply. Some of these black men, they don't care about you. They're trying to get close to your daughter that lives with you, okay? In some cases, some of them are trying to get close to your son. It's a lot of sexually demonic Pookie pedophiles out here in the black community. And it's this stigma, like I said, pedophilia used to be a very biased issue. Remember when we thought it was just something that happened in the white community? It only happened in the white suburbs and priests and Catholic churches. But what's going on is, we used to think pedophiles were old, creepy, weird looking guys. That's what we thought pedophiles were. We thought Pookie pedophiles were unattractive, poor, not married, anti-social men that don't have a social life or don't have any friends. We think these are the kind of guys that are pedophiles. And that's far from the truth. That's a myth. Pedophiles are not just old, creepy, white, funny, weird looking men who like to stare out the window, 4 or 5 in the morning. That is not just, that's not what a pedophile is. That's a stereotype. Now what has occurred over the years is that pedophilia behavior is not that easy to detect anymore. You used to be able to just look at a guy and kind of like get some type of vibe, but now you cannot just go by looks anymore. And this is where we as Black women, we are allowing our thirst to overrule our common sense. Just because a man looks good, I don't care if he wears an Armani suit and $2,000 gator shoes. There are some high value men with some low value morals that are living a totally different way. What's up, Lord? Welcome back. That are living a totally different way from what they present themselves to be in the street. A lot of these dudes are straight up perverted. And the sad part is, even if some of these guys were to be exposed as perverts and pedophiles, the Black community is so blinded and jaded, y'all would give them a pass. Even if it has been brought to y'all attention that certain men, these certain high value caliber men are perverts, y'all are going to give them a pass. Y'all are going to excuse us. Y'all are going to condone it. So, basically, pedophiles come in so many deceitful forms. Remember, some of y'all don't remember the story of the high value man. He goes by the name of, his name is Austin Stevens. Matter of fact, I'm gonna share my screen, and so we can talk about this. I just think it'd be better if I share my screen. So a lot of y'all should probably remember this story. It wasn't too long ago, but this gentleman here, look at him. Look at this high value man, well dressed in a suit, can play the part, looks good, well dressed, successful. Underneath all of that is a demonic spirited man who is so demonic, as a matter of fact, he raped his own 10th-month-old. But see, we don't want to talk about stuff like this. And I just wish more brothers would talk about these type of issues in the Black community sector. Now, this gentleman here, Mr. Austin Stevens, 29, had been ordered to stand trial for the rape and murder of his 10-month-old daughter, Zara, who ended up dying. She became deceased from the aftermath of the damage she suffered during this sexual demonic act. Now, like I said, ladies, a man does not have to be ugly to be a sexually demonic pervert. He does not have to be a dude that work at Popeyes or McDonald's. So don't fall for the high value bullshit, because to me, physical attributes is nothing. I don't care what somebody looks like on the outside. I don't care how well dressed they are. I don't care how much money they make. They can have all of that, be high value as far as presentation, but behind closed doors got low value morals. I know Water Sniper, his own daughter, yes. So she didn't stand a chance. Exactly, Lord dragged one sick bastard. And guess what? He's not the only one. All of these dudes y'all around here praising and worshiping because they got good jobs. You don't and know how to wear nice, expensive suits. You don't know how they living behind closed doors. After his 10th-month-old daughter suffered blunt force trauma to her head, Austin Stevens spent over an hour Googling what to do, chatting with 2 different women via text message and social media. Montgomery County homicide detective testified during a preliminary hearing. I should be holding you, Stevens, 29, told one woman while he asked another, where you at, baby? The next day, police charged Stevens with raping and assaulting his daughter. Weeks later, he was charged with murder after the medical examiner's office ruled the death as a homicide. By the time Stevens called 911, Zara Scruggs, which is the baby, has stopped breathing. Lower Providence Township Patrol Officer Eric Horrick testified that when he arrived at Stevens' Germantown Pike apartment shortly after 10:40 p.m. on October 3rd, the child was laying on the bed wearing a diaper. She had no heartbeat. What's up, Classic Ruby? How are you, sis? She had no heartbeat. Her skin was gray and she was cold to the touch. Basically, she went into rigor mortis stage at this point. So this is my point about this high value talk. About high value man. What's the purpose of being a high value man when you got low value morals? When you're doing all kind of dirty, demonic things behind closed doors. And this is a man who evidently has a good career and make it so bad he's married. Married man, could you imagine what his wife, the emotional trauma she had to go through behind knowing this, knowing that your own husband, the father of your child, raped your 10-month-old. So, like I said, again, it's not enough of men in the Black YouTube sector. They're not addressing these perverted, demonic, Pookie predators. And the reason why a lot of them are not addressing it, as I said earlier, the reason why a lot of male content creators, they don't want to talk about this subject. For one, either they have Pookie predator tendencies themselves, or two, it has not happened to someone they care about yet. That's the only reason why a lot of the men in the Black YouTube sector, they're not going to talk about these high value Pookie predator men that are partaking in immoral sexual behavior behind closed doors. They don't care because it has not happened to their daughter. It has not happened to their niece. It has not happened to a woman that they care about. What's up, Sosa? Nobody in the streets has a balanced point of view. The men point out women failure and deny and excuse male failure. And the women do the same damn thing. Absolutely. No, the problem with Black men and Black women in the Black community, we want to highlight each other's failures. We want to highlight each other's shortcomings. We want to highlight each other's issues, but nobody wants to discuss issues that are affecting both Black men and Black women. Okay, bye, Rissy. Be safe now. Nobody wants to talk about issues that are going to affect your children. Guess what? When we are dead and gone, we don't beat these issues. Your grandchildren going to go through it. Your great-grandchildren. It's going to become a generational curse. It's going to continue. It's going to definitely continue to keep spreading. What's up, Poetic? Both of my sisters in the building. Classic and Poetic. I'll let y'all know the dates when we do that Black bashing culture. I'm just waiting to hear from the guys. I got 3 of them that's willing to do the show with us. So I'm waiting on 2 more so we can get that collaboration. And then I'll give everybody a set date that's going to work for everybody. But I'm going to do it on the weekend because I know everybody says weekends work better. So I'm going to try to hit that on a Friday or Saturday. We'll see what happens. So now, what made me decide to talk about this? These Pookie predators. As y'all know, I work in a correctional facility, and I am constantly in contact with inmates. I'll say it's probably 50 to 60 inmates to one officer. So when I'm on my unit, I am the only female correctional officer over anywhere between 40 to 60 grown men. That's how outnumbered you are as a correctional officer in a facility. And it's gotten to the point, as I stated, a lot of people are not woke to really what's going on within the criminal justice system. We think that there's the majority of Black men have an issue with just violence or Black on Black crime or selling drugs. And this may be true, but the biggest issue that I see going on with Black men within our community is a lot of these guys are sexually, demonically perverted. I cannot explain to y'all how many 12-year-olds to 20-year-olds to 50 years old, 50-year-olds to 70-year-old men are constantly entering my facility over some incest charges, child molestation charges, rape charges. And nobody cares because it has not happened to your wife, it has not happened to your daughter, it has not happened to your niece. Nobody wants to hit on this because it hasn't hit straight home. What's up, Jay Shine? Jay Shine is another one of the guys that I'm going to have on the panel for the Black Bashing series. So definitely stay tuned, y'all. It's going to be a really, really good show. But let me get to this. We're going to talk about these sexual Pookie predators in the Black community. Now, somebody brought this to my attention, as I told y'all, I have a Facebook page, whatever. And basically somebody posted this to me, and there's this guy here that y'all see. His name is, I guess, Christopher Brooks. And basically there was a woman who posted his picture on Facebook, and basically this is what she posted. She said, "This person is a sexual predator and is registered as a sexual offender. I received a call from a young lady saying that he is going around approaching them inappropriately. His name is Christopher Brooks." Now, I will say this. Most sexual predators, they're not just sexual with one type of person. 9 times out of 10, they're sexually demonic at any, in other words, they don't just target specific people. They can target anybody at any given moment. A sexual predator can target grown women. A sexual predator can target young women, little boys. Sexual predators really don't have a preference. They can also target people within their own family. So that's why you ladies have to be careful allowing your children to spend the night everywhere, because some of these uncles, what's up, Sassy Diva? Some of these uncles, some of your sister boyfriend, you cannot be so eager to want to go to the club and twerk and get in, ladies get in free before 11 o'clock, that you leave your children with any goddamn body. Because let's be honest, every Black woman is not a mother. Okay? Some women, period, regardless of whatever colors. I know some Puerto Rican white women. Everybody's not a mother that has children. Okay, that's first and foremost. You have some women who don't give a damn about their own children. They will drop them off and leave them anywhere with anybody just so they can go out and get high and turn up and twerk in the club. Now, so a young lady had posted this gentleman's picture here. This Pookie predator picture here, and basically said he is going around getting fresh with other females. Now, if you look at him, he has that high value man look. He's well dressed. Looks like he's wearing an expensive hat. He has glasses. He's well shaved. Look like he gets his touch up with his barber on the regular. He does not look like a bum. He does not look like a beta male or a scrub. He actually looks like he has that high value presentation. But behind all of that is a very troubled, sick man that has a lot of demonic perverse issues. So not only did she post this picture of him, she also posted his mugshot, because you know this stuff is public record. You can dig up anybody's mugshot. And I know a lot of people like to twist and say, well, I didn't do this crime, somebody else did this crime. Let me tell you, the proof is in the pudding. Once GDIC gets your mugshot and they put it out there, you cannot twist it, you cannot manipulate it unless you were acquitted from the charges. You know, you got dudes who get exposed for this Pookie pedophile perversion, and they want to play crazy like it wasn't them, they didn't do it, they don't know what they're talking about, and all this other stuff. Okay, so here it is. He has an arrest record, and if you continue to look, like I said, he's not a bad looking guy. He does not have that pedophile look, but when you really dig deep, the rest of his record shows all of the charges, everything he has been charged for. He's been charged for rape back in 99. He did 15 years for that. He's been charged with aggravated sodomy. For some of y'all who don't know what sodomy is, I'm going to explain this to you. Like I said, I'm a correctional officer. I work in a correctional facility. A lot of people think sodomy just means when you are physically screwed in the behind. Okay? A lot of people think that is penetration in the booty. And that's not necessarily. Sodomy could mean also when you put your genitals into another person's mouth without them consenting. So let me make sure I make that clear, because a lot of people don't know what sodomy is. Okay, so when a person is charged with sodomy, aggravated sodomy, that means you forced that person. You made them do it. You probably used a weapon. You did something to force them to do it. They did not have no choice in the matter. Okay, so he got charged with aggravated sodomy. He got this was in 95. Okay, so he did the rape in 99. He did the aggravated sodomy in 95. He did another, let me see what this says here. Hold on, because I see 2 rape charges. And I got 2 different cases. So if y'all pay attention here, there's 2 rape offenses, right? Both of them are on the same date, but they're separate cases. So this means that he committed this offense to 2 different people within the same day. Understand? So, like I said, it's a separate case, it's not the same case. So he did get 15 years for each of them. All right. So there are 2 separate cases. That's not one person. Then he did robbery in 98. Then he got another aggravated sodomy. I mean, must I say more? And this is what I'm saying. I wish more Black male content creators, why are y'all not talking about this type of issue? Where we're just going to talk about hair weaves and broken, bitter Black women. I mean, I don't have a problem with y'all talking about that, but what about these Black men, y'all brothers, who got sexually demonic issues? Do y'all not realize that half of the men, half of the brothers in y'all chat room is struggling with this demonic type of sickness, and y'all may need to call them out on it so they can go get some help? They go get some therapy? Why are we not talking about this? Exactly, Kai. When do most of them ever have a pedophile look? That's my point exactly. That is my point. So as I stated, that's why you have to be very mindful, because there's a lot that is going on with these sexual predators in the Black community, like I said, and a lot of them are not being addressed. You know, we're just walking over it. We're acting like it's not an issue. There's somebody who probably has an uncle in the family. It's a lot that's doing this. It's somebody who has a brother in the family. It's and again, like I stated, I have young men coming into my facility, only 13 or 14 years old, already are registered sex offenders. Nicki Minaj, her husband is a registered sex offender. And you know how old he was? You know how young he was when he committed that offense? He committed that offense at 15 years old. So that meant at 15 years old, he already had sexually demonic perversion issues. And again, this is an uncomfortable, touchy subject. We don't want to talk about this. So, as I stated, like Kai said in the chat, there's no specific look when it comes to a pedophile or Pookie pedophile. You can't easily detect them these days. So many guys aren't going to speak on this because, for one, like I said, they will say the man is not considered a high value man. They would only disqualify him as a high value man by saying he's no high value man. High value men don't rape little girls, but that's only because he's been exposed. But what about the high value men who claim to be high value and are living pedophilia lifestyle behind closed doors? So like I said, these high value men who y'all worship, who y'all praise, who y'all give accolades to because they have success, they wear suits, they got careers, they make money, they got high titles, they are CEOs, they got high positions in the workforce, they are executive directors, they are driving Bentleys, Rolls Royces, they are traveling from different countries. These men are considered the high value men. But as soon as they get exposed and they skeletons come out the closet and you find out that this person has a record for being a pedophile or has pedophilia tendency, now you want to shun the brother. You want to shun the high value man away and say, well, he was never a high value man. That's only because he got exposed. What about the high value men that haven't gotten exposed, that is partaking in pedophilia, perverse behavior? Water Sniper says, you mean like the ones who think it's okay to travel to other countries that allow men to mess with underage little girls? A lot of that is going on. But guess what? As long as they're wearing a nice suit and gator shoes, who cares? Long as they know how to play the part and play the role, nobody's not going to call them out on it anyway. And it's exactly, Jay Shine, record producers, movie producers, athletes, rappers, politicians. You got demonically, sexually perverse politicians. All of them going there. So the question lies, what is the characteristics of some pedophiles? What are some of the things to look for? Are some of the things we should pay attention to when it comes to pedophilia, when it comes to these Pookie predators that know how to dress the part and be deceiving and manipulative? Yes, Cub Scout directors. Oh, and we're not even going to go there with pastors. It's so many pastors. Eddie Longstroke, Eddie Wrong. It's a lot of them. He was called out more because he had a mega ministry, but it's a lot of them. Now, the first thing is the myth. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. We're going to break down the myths of a sexual predator. We're going to break down the myths. And meanwhile, while I'm getting ready to break down the myths, I'm going to see if I can pull up my registered sex offender site in my county. Let me see if I can pull that up. And I advise all you ladies, especially you single ladies, you single mothers, you need to be keeping up with your sexual offender registry in your county, in your town. You don't know if you could have a registered sex offender next door. I don't care how good he looks or how attractive he is. It's important that you are aware. And I'm going to show y'all the registered sex offenders in my area. Now, the first myth is pedophiles are unattractive. That's a myth. That is a myth. Let me see what Ruby said right quick. Let's be real, though. Even when they are caught, they are heavily defended. Absolutely. That's what I was just saying. Like we all saw that R. Kelly P video. It was clearly him. Yet we stayed in denial for what? 2 decades after that. And you know what happens is it eventually catches up. That's why R. Kelly is in prison now. It catches up with you. Doesn't matter how value you are, how successful you are. Your sexual demonic behavior is eventually going to get you caught up. It's going to catch up with you. So the first thing is we think that these Pookie predators are unattractive. Pedophiles are, in many cases, attractive men. They're attractive. Yep, I remember that Queen Jeffrey Epstein. Is that the one who killed himself I think exactly. I'm glad there's a few brothers in here who care about pedophilia and know it exists and not hiding from it. Pedophile predators, they don't always look like gross, creepy old men that peep in the bushes. Pedophiles can be very attractive. And I'm going to pull up my website, ladies and guys, and I'm going to show you the predators that live in my area. And when I say it's a lot of them, it's a lot of them. One would think if a man is very attractive, a lot of times we think because a man is attractive, he wouldn't have a sick desire for underage girls or children because they can get a woman. Just because a man is handsome, it does not exempt him from pedophilia behavior. Not all men who look good feel good about themselves. And like I said, I'm specifically talking about pedophiles. This is not one of those bashing men type of content. For anybody who's coming in here, I'm talking about these undercover Pookie predator pedophiles that love to play the high value man part. So if it doesn't apply, you ain't got to reply. I only speak for myself as a black man. I don't know or associate myself with these type of people. Absolutely, Jimmy. Not all men who look good about themselves, all men who look good don't feel good about themselves. So don't think that attractive or handsome looking men are excluded from being sexually demonic, perverse predators. If you look on your registered sex offenders list, honestly, all of the mugshots I observed was not ugly men. I have seen a lot of attractive men on the sex offender registry list. So you have to be careful that you give someone a pass from pedophilia behavior just because they look good. What's up, Omega? And I agree. When Jada Pickett, when that situation came out about her messing, you know, affiliating, messing around with August Alsina, I did not spare her. If you look at my archives and you put in Mocha Cafe de Paris, Jada Pickett, you will see I did a whole, I think, an hour, 2-hour video. I talk about women like her who have done this. But the thing is, I know women. I don't have to call women out because it's plenty of brothers in the black YouTube sector. They're doing a great job of calling black women out. I don't have to call black women out as much because the brothers are going to do that anyway. But what I'm trying to figure out is, when are the brothers going to call out these sexually demonic, perverse, Pookie predators? Like I said, I have young men 13, 14, 15 who already are registered sex offenders before they even graduate high school. I know young men who have already raped their own female cousins, their own sisters. They rape their nieces. You have sex to some people is like meth to a meth addict. They have to have it. They have to have. They cannot breathe until they put their penis somewhere. It's like that crackhead. That crackhead is not going to sleep until they get that fix. You have these demonically, sexually perverse individuals. They're not going to rest unless they have raped somebody. It's like a sick ass high. It's a perverted high. They get a sick thrill off of targeting women and children. Darren Sharper was an NFL star and now a convicted sexual predator. Not kids, but he was so fine and rich, people wouldn't think he was a defiant. Exactly, Queen. Because you know what? We are in a world with so many people, they ain't woke. You got a lot of hibernating, especially black folks. We only want to believe people we only want to believe people who we don't like are fucked up. People who we like and worship, oh no, we don't think nothing wrong with them. We only think something is wrong with what the hell we don't like. If I don't like black men, I'ma always find fault in them because I don't like black men. Or if I'm a black man and I don't like black women, I'ma always look for fault in black women because I don't like black women. What's up, Franklin? Franklin says they're everywhere, and the people make you sick that cover up for these people, including family members. You have to be a bodyguard to your kids today. Oh my gosh, Mr. Hall, you definitely said a mouthful. I know families personally who are still dealing with relatives that have caused this type of trauma to their families. But most people are afraid of their abusers. Most people don't have the confidence. They don't have the willpower to leave their abusers. Especially if that abuser is your father, your family member, your brother. You're going to find reasons to try to condone it. Water Sniper says, I think the more we try to shove this issue under the rug, it lingers and harms our community. It does. Nobody wants to talk about these Pookie predators that are sexually perverse. I heard about that. Reverend James Cleveland gave his adopted son AIDS. That's what I'm saying. But oh no, we want to talk about black women with hair weaves. We want to talk about that. And I get it. Like I said, I'm not knocking men who talk about these issues. It's cool. I understand. Black women, we know we got a lot of issues. I'm a black woman. I will say we got a lot of issues. But how is that helping the community? Why y'all not addressing these perverts? Do y'all not realize the majority of these men who come in the chat room are perverts? Y'all can't, let me say this. Y'all cannot make me believe for a second. If I go into a chat room somewhere and I see a bunch of men in there, I know 9 out of 10, it's going to at least be 20 of them in there that got Pookie predator tendencies. They have been with somebody's child, or they still messing with somebody's child. You know, it's a bunch of perverts in the black YouTube sector. Guess what? Y'all not going to care, because as long as they chatting and sending super chats and donations, y'all going to give them these perverts a pass anyway. So as I was saying, you have these Pookie pedophile predators. A lot of them are very attractive. So you have to be careful. You can't give them a pass like with R. Kelly. R. Kelly was a straight pervert. He's a very sick man. Do I love his music? Yes. Do I still listen to his music? Yes. Will I leave my daughter around him or my 3-year-old niece? No. Good looks don't disqualify you from being a pedophile. Just because you look good, that don't mean you're not a predator. Pookie pedophiles, they wear nice suits. They wear nice shoes. You got some pretty boy pedophile perverts. The next myth is we think that Pookie predators are broke. We think they are bums. Truth is, you have some Pookie predators that are wealthy. As y'all would say, high value. Because a high value man is a man who only has high value because of his money, has nothing to do with his character. So y'all say. Because what I'm saying is, Jimmy, it's not about reaching, but what I'm saying is this is a bigger issue than what y'all think. And you're not, and the reason why it will come off as reaching to you is because you've never experienced it. When you have experienced molestation as a woman, as a child, there's no such thing as reaching until you have experienced it. It's only reaching for people who never had to experience it. But when it has happened to you, it has happened to your child, it will give you a different outlook. It will make you look at things deeper than the average person. For instance, if you've never experienced your house being robbed, for instance, if you have experienced your house being broken into, somebody broke into your house, stole your shit, stole everything you work hard for, you don't think that's not going to make you a lot more paranoid compared to the average person that never experienced their house being broken into? Once your house has been broken into, you will never feel safe in your community. But guess what? If your house never got robbed, you don't give a damn because it ain't happened to you yet. But when it happens close to home, you will find yourself 20 times more paranoid than you've ever been. It happened to me once. I got close, and this is a different scenario, but I'm just using it as an analogy. I was very close with a neighbor that my daughter used to go and play with her kids and things like that. You know, my daughter used to go next door, and at the time when she was staying there, my daughter used to play with her granddaughter. That's how much I trusted my neighbor. And then I remember when I came home one day, my computer was stolen and my TV was stolen. And this whole time, this chick was sitting up here talking to me like she did not know nothing. She did not see anything. And I agree, Jimmy Walker. It's something, but when it's different for people. It's more deep. A lot of people look at it as reaching, but it's deep when you have been traumatized by that type of experience. Like I said, when this chick broke into my house and I put the pieces together, I forgot how I found out because it was every bit of like maybe 19 years ago. When I found out this chick was the one who sent somebody into my house to steal my TV and steal my computer. Not only that, she stole my what's it called, tax refund check. She went in my mailbox and actually stole my tax refund check. She set me up. Absolutely, Omega. And I know a lot of people are like, well, how the hell that happened? Because me and her was friends and neighbors. You know how you and your friends be talking? Yeah, I'm getting my income tax check soon, blah, blah, blah. I didn't tell her when. I didn't give her a date. But me being gullible and comfortable and letting my guard down and sharing too much information about myself, she used it to her advantage. I feel you, Jimmy. I got you. And what happened was that she was the one who did it, because when I went to the pawn shop and found out, I wanted to know who had cashed my check, because the information was returned back to me who cashed my check. I found out it was a pawn shop. Went to the pawn shop to find out who was this person who y'all let sign off for my check. They ran the camera, they ran the footage on the day it was cashed, and it was her. So I say all that to say this. Once you have experienced something, it makes you different. It makes you more cautious, and it makes you more paranoid. After that, I never was friends with any more neighbors of mine. I'm not friends with none of my neighbors. I do not let my daughter play with none of my neighbors' kids. I do not let anybody get close to me. You know why? Because that was a personal traumatizing moment for me, and it made me more cautious and more aware that you can get got if you're not careful. So that's why I say, you know, with these perverted predators that are hanging around in spaces and places and things of that nature, you got to be mindful of that. So we're going to talk about the myth that predators are poor people. Not all Pookie predators are poor, homeless, drunks, living out in the streets, standing in front of liquor stores looking dusty. Your predator is not always a bum ass looking dude. Yes, successful men that wear expensive suits with high cost gator shoes that have successful careers aren't exempt from pedophilia behavior. Yes, experiences make you different. Like I said, a lot of y'all don't care about pedophilia. Y'all don't care about perverts. Y'all don't care about registered sex offenders. And I know why, because it ain't happened to you. Let it happen to your daughter. I guarantee you're going to feel different. Let it happen to your niece. Let it happen to your wife. Your wife go to the grocery store to go get some dinner for y'all. She walk back to her car in the parking lot. It's some pervert that comes out of nowhere, knocks her down, drags her in the back seat of his mystery van, and takes full advantage of her. You don't care until it happens to you. And that's why I said wealth does not exempt pedophilia behavior. You would think because a man has everything a successful man would want, he wouldn't aim so low as to immoral sexual behavior with the child. But predators have a deep mental sickness that even designer labels can't cure. You have some wealthy men that have sick fetishes. Now, I don't know how true it is, but look at your boy T.I. Allegedly. But, y'all wouldn't believe that because he's T.I. He talks with big vocabulary, like he graduated from Harvard or Princeton. As my saying goes, never underestimate anybody. Now, sometimes money has a way of making people overindulge in immoral things. When you have a lot of money, you get bored. You look for new levels of stimulation. You get so many women, you tired of women. You want children now. You tired of just screwing one chick. You want to do orgies now. And I'm not trying to be funny. Attention is starting to become a problem for black men and black women. We are constantly seeking attention and validation from anywhere we can get it. Sometimes when you have a lot, that's more access to do a lot. Like they say, money just enhances your bad qualities. If you're a pervert when you broke, what you think you're going to be when you become a pervert with millions? If you're a whore when you broke, you're going to be even more whorish when you get some millions. Don't give a whore millions. She's going to be even more whorish than what she is. Desensitized. I got to look that word up. I heard of the word, but I don't understand the meaning of it. I have to look that up. Oh, of course. But Queen, if we go there, we hating or we clout chasing. So, I let God deal with that. When it's daytime to be exposed and they get shut all the way down, that's that. It'll just be their time. If you are wealthy with pedophilia behavior, you have way more options available to you. Pedophiles, they don't have to just rape Kiki in the projects. A wealthy, high value predator, he can travel overseas. He can go to India. He can go to Venezuela. He can go to Jamaica. He can go anywhere where they allow young children and young women to be treated as sex slaves. But the problem with all these high value men, they could do their dirt in other countries and come here and act all bougie in the states like they not on that level. In these foreign countries, and I'm not saying all traveling brothers do it, because that's a stereotype. Not all men who travel are looking for children of perverts. Y'all some men who just love to travel. They just don't want to be mentally restricted to only knowing the states. And I get it. What's up, Careless Whisper? But you have a lot of men, high value men, who do dirt in other countries and come in the States and act bougie like they don't do nothing but make their money. And I tell you, Queen of the South, it's a lot of celebrities with sick ass fetishes out there, like you would never believe. I won't be surprised. That's probably why Tiny would never leave him, because she's done so much dirt with him. She know he got stuff on her. He know, and she know he got, and he know she got stuff on him. They both done did a lot of dirt together. You have some couples that are swingers. You have some couples that have sex parties, sex orgies. Damn AIDS. Nobody don't care about AIDS no more. People still doing porn, still raw dogging. If you are wealthy with pedophilia, that's the more options you have. You can travel across seas to get young girls and children, or you can bribe young women into pleasing you sexually. A wealthy pervert is the worst type of pervert, because he can pay for his dirty deeds. And think about it, he think because he paying for it, he really ain't doing anything wrong because he's paying for it. Unlike the bum or the broke or the poor pervert, he got to snatch it, he got to steal it, he got to rape, because he don't have the money to bribe or manipulate a person into buying it, purchasing it. Some men cannot purchase punani. What's up, Bucket 88? Some men can't purchase it, so they do it the low down dirty way. They got to do it. They got to get sex on the sneak tip. They got to wait till a woman is drunk and passed out to steal some tissue. Or they gotta bird feed a young girl who young and stupid and dumb and don't know no better. He got to break off with little McDonald's or 50-cent sodas, and so he can get her to suck them off. Cannibalism parties, very interesting, Omega. I'm gonna look that up. I won't be surprised if they discuss stuff like that on YouTube. Oh, wow. Okay, Omega. You schooling me on some stuff, because I'm going to look up a lot of stuff you're talking about. It's called ambrosia. Damn. Okay. I'm going to look that up when I get off of here. Another myth, we think Pookie predators are dumb. No, Pookie predators are highly intellectual. Pedophiles do have college degrees. They are successful. They own their own businesses. They are doctors, lawyers, mega ministry leaders. Being a pedophile doesn't mean you have to be dumb or read below 5th grade level. You could be a genius, but still have pedophile sicknesses. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, he was a genius, but this man was going around killing people and eating people and putting body parts in the damn freezer and stuff. Pedophiles are not dumb. They know the manipulative tactics. Some even have the street smarts to get over. And you have some of these perverts. Sex for them is like I said, it's like meth for a meth fiend. They will stop at nothing to get it. I personally know a young man, which I can't say his name because he's somewhere within the family line, but he was so sexually perverse, and I was talking about this on the part 1 before I had to shut down my show. He was so perverse that he would scope and wait. You know, just like a crackhead will walk around all time of night, waiting to catch somebody slipping, hoping somebody leave their pocketbook in the grocery buggy. You know how a smoker is looking for any opportunity to catch somebody slipping so they can rob, steal, and get that fix. You know what I'm saying? That's how he was with his sexual perversion. This dude was sitting in cars and apartment complexes, waiting for women who lived by themselves, who didn't have a woman, who didn't have a man with them, who didn't have a guy staying with them. And he would wait until these women got out their car, walked into their apartment. He was so sexually perverse, he even studied how to open windows to certain apartment complexes. He wouldn't go to certain apartment complexes that had high security. He went to the apartments that were outdated, that didn't have the state of the art security windows and locks. He went to the ran down apartments or the old apartments where he knew the security of the apartment was not that up to par, and he used that to his advantage, to where he was breaking in women's apartments and raping them in their own apartment, in their own bedroom. And he did this in several states. And what he would do is, after he raped these women, he would make them go wash and take a shower to wash the DNA off of them before he left. Now, can you imagine being a woman? You coming in from work, you know, women, we like to take our bra off and let our tatas air out, you know. After you've been working, you just want to eat some Haagen-Dazs, you want to chill, and some fool climbs through your window and rapes you. That's what he was doing. And then after he has raped you for like an hour, 30 minutes, however, he has the audacity to tell you to go take a shower. And he will stand there and watch you take a shower while you already feeling traumatized and hurt. Yeah, I didn't do much on the part 1 Black, so you good. You caught the right show. That was like only like 10 minutes. I had to shut it down because I had to go pick up my husband. So you didn't miss much. And when the detectives asked him, the detectives asked him what provoked him to go and rape these women, to break into their apartment and climb through their windows. He said his words was, it was animal instincts. What the And guess what? Do you think he was an ugly guy? Do you think he was an old white guy? No, he was a 23-year-old young Black male who was at the peak of his singing career and going around raping women. No, he didn't want to deal with the groupies. So when you're dealing with a predator, their psyche is not normal. A normal person would think, well, if I want some punani, I'll just go pay for it. I'll go find somebody off a back page. I'll get a call girl, or I'll find me a project chick and hit the kids off with some 12-piece Popeye's chicken and give a little $100 towards her light bill. She'll let me hit it. That's not how the psyche of a predator works. They find stimulation off of the thrill of raping a woman. I know that's hard for you to phantom, but you don't have the mind of a pervert. So, of course, you don't have the mind of a predator. So it's not going to make any sense to you. You have to be a predator to understand. Now, there's another myth that most Pookie predators are single. Pedophiles aren't just single men or bachelors. They are men that are actually married. Yes, there are married men that are Pookie predators. Having children and a wife does not make you less of a pedophile. I know many married pedophiles. In fact, some pedophiles will use their families as a facade to soothe their immoral sexual fixes for underage children. Yes, he goes home to his wife. He pays the bills. He's an excellent provider. He's a great father. But when he leaves those doors, he's on a Pookie predator mission. Yeah, I did a part 1. It's still up there, y'all. It's only like 10 minutes. I didn't do it. I think it probably was a 10-15 minute live. It was not long. I had to shut it down early because I had to go pick up my husband. So y'all didn't miss a whole lot, but it's still there if you want to catch it. In fact, the married Pookie pedophile, he will allow his kids' friends to come over and spend the night. That's why you should never allow your kids to just spend the night with anybody. He will use his family to get close to children. There's another myth that Pookie pedophiles are antisocial. Not all pedophiles are men that sit in the corner of a room and keep to themselves. Some of them have a lot of friends. Some Pookie pedophiles are very popular. A lot of guys like them. The pedophile is fun to be around. He's cool. He likes to have a good time. He's fun. He's friendly. Pedophiles aren't always mean and nasty, unfriendly type of guys. They nice guys. Let me tell y'all, I work in a jail facility where I meet some inmates that are really nice, really respectable, very polite. And when I look up their record, I'm like, hell no. A lot of them have friends and people that like them. All pedophiles are not mean dudes that nobody likes. In other words, all pedophiles are not assholes. Some of them are real chill. They fun. They're nice to be around. So again, you can't always detect a pedophile because some of them are entertaining and fun to be around. So never judge a book by its cover. Plus, like I stated, I work in a facility where I meet the nicest inmates, have more charges with sexual molestation than I've ever seen. So basically, pedophilia behavior will eventually lead to incarceration. The more a pedophile gets away with pedophilia behavior, the most likely he's going to keep repeating it and creating new victims until he gets caught. Most of them they're just going to keep doing it until, it all comes to a head and they get caught up. Once he gets caught, he has to register as a sex offender. That is what Nicki Minaj's husband is. He's a registered sex offender. Now, some men get caught with a sexual crime on their first round. Some of them, it takes years before they get caught. Exactly. Omega, if you could scan the human body, you go insane. Absolutely. Once a pedophile has been exposed, now he has to register as a sex offender. There are all sorts of rules he has to live by, so he doesn't become a threat to children in the community. Registered sex offenders, they got so many rules, you might as well be in prison. A sex offender can't hardly do anything. That's what's going on with Nicki Minaj. That's why Nicki Minaj is trying to silence her husband, Kenneth Petty, Pookie, pedophile. She's trying to make his victim silence talking about it. She wants the victim to drop the charges. She wants to pay the victim off because Nicki Minaj is finding out being married to a Pookie predator is not fun. Being with a predator is like being with a child. They got so many rules. With all the millions Nicki Minaj has, her husband is never going to be able to enjoy the fruits of her labor because Pookie registered sex offenders, they got to be home at a certain time. They can't just go where they want to go. He cannot go anywhere where there's children. And damn, there's not too many places there's not children. Children are in church. Children are at the grocery store. Children, can't live in certain feet of childcare centers, of public schools. Nicki Minaj seeing firsthand it's not fun being married to a registered sex offender. You're not even allowed to use drugs when you're a registered sex offender. You cannot drink. You cannot smoke weed. None of that shit because they feel like that will alter your judgment and make you reoffend. And I'm telling you what I know because I work in this line field of work. Damn what anybody else tell you. Being a registered sex offender is no fun. They do not get to have the life. Like Nicki Minaj's husband, he cannot just go drive to the grocery store or go anywhere and do what he wants without checking in with his community supervision officer. If he does go somewhere, he has to write down everywhere he goes. He has to let his community supervisor know where he's going. He's not allowed to do what he wants to do just because he's married to Nicki Minaj. Not only that, when you register as a sex offender, you have to report your address. Not only that, your address is put on display for public record. And I'm going to show you, ladies and guys, some of that now. Well, Mr. Walker, she asked for that, being desperate and thirsty. Now, I'm going to share with y'all the registered sex offenders in my area. All right. Let me know if y'all can see it. Because this is real on the battlefield. All right, looks like y'all can see it. All right, so for all of my ladies, all of the guys, to all of my men in the chat room, you also have to be careful because even though you are a man and you don't face the same adversaries as women when it comes to dealing with molester and rapists, your daughter may bring home one of these guys, okay? You may be friends with one of these guys. You may be drinking beer with these type of guys on a Friday or Saturday night. You may be shooting pool with these guys. You do not know who the fuck you dealing with, who the hell you hanging around. So I'm schooling y'all to something that a lot of brothers are not going to school y'all to because I don't want none of my people being blinded and being dumb to what the hell is going on. So I need my brothers to be just as woke as I need my sisters to be because you may be friends with a registered sex offender. Do you feel comfortable as a man having a man come to your house, drink beer, play cards with you, and he's a registered sex offender knowing you got a wife and a daughter there or grandchildren? Exactly. Now I'm going to show y'all some of the registered sex offenders that's not too far within my area. No, this is a different zip code. This is not my zip code, but it's close enough. So this is the things that you want to be careful of. To all of the ladies in your county, there should be a registered sex offender list in your county. I advise you to check that list at least every 3 months because the list gets bigger each and every single day. Okay, so we're going to just take a look at some of these guys. All right, so as y'all can see, this is one gentleman here. I'm not putting anybody's personal business out there. This is public records, okay? So I can't get flagged or none of that for this because this is public record. When you are a registered sex offender, you don't get no privacy. Anybody could look you up and find out where you live and all of that. So this guy here, this is his name, this is address, and it says what level he is. He's a level 2 registered sex offender. So when it comes to most level 2, Nicki Minaj's husband, he's a level 2. Level 2 sex offenders are pretty dangerous. They're intermediate. They're right in the middle. Meaning that they cannot be trusted around children. The less threat of a sexual offender is a level 1. Level 1 sex offenders are not going to be on a registered sex offender list. Only level 2, level 3 sex offenders are going to have to register. Level 1 sex offender may be like a damn peeping Tom, that was looking at, that didn't actually commit an act, but they did it on a low level. They might have been peeping through your child's window. They may be like a level 1. But in most cases, most registered sex offenders are going to be level 2, level 3. Level 3 is the worst out of the worst. But we're going to go into it. All right. So as you can see, all of these guys here, it tells you their name, their address. Wow. Somebody I know, my cousin stays on a particular street. And she has a registered sex offender over there. Wow. I'm going to have to let her know about that. Damn. Okay. Yeah. But, yeah. Okay. Lost my train of thought. Let me get back. So all of these guys here are registered sex offenders, y'all. Now this tells you, the different levels of registered sex offenders. Okay. And how close one it says offenders are. Absolutely, Franklin. Now, level 1, it says our sex offender is a low case offense risk and low recidivism risk. So a level 1 registered sex offender, they didn't actually touch a child. They didn't actually have sex with a child. They had no physical contact with the child. Not only that, they have not done it repeatedly. All right. It was a one-time situation, like maybe they had the child undressed in front of them, something like that, but there was no actual contact. And then this was their first time ever doing that. They're level 1, meaning they're not really a threat to society, but at the same time, they have to be careful that if they are to repeat it again, they can become level 2 and it can become level 3. So you have your level 2. That's what Nicki Minaj's husband is. And a lot of these guys are level 2 offenders for the most part. A lot of them, that's on the registered sex offender registry list, are level 2. Level 2 is intermediate sex offense risk and intermediate recidivism, meaning that they're kind of borderline. They're in the middle. Okay. They're not a major threat, but they are a threat, which is still bad. It is still not a good look. The recidivism, meaning they have had maybe 1 or 2 encounters. But keep in mind, because I don't want to give any perverts the wrong idea, you don't have to be caught 2-3 times to become a level 2 offender. You can become a level 2 registered sex offender just getting caught on the first try. Okay? So you don't have to do it 2-3 times. You can get it the first time you do it. It also includes sexual offenders who do not meet the criteria for classification either as sexually dangerous predator or for level 1 risk assessment. So basically, they're not a major threat, but society, criminal justice still does not spare any leniency on level 2 sex offenders. That is why Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, he has to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life because he's a level 2. Meaning he's not a major threat, but at the same time, he's a big enough threat to where they feel like he will possibly repeat it. And not only this, let me tell y'all something. If you are a registered sex offender and you committed other crimes outside of sexual crimes, All of that, they take all of that into account. And Nicki Minaj's husband, he has had many run-ins with the law. That's another reason, even though this is a separate issue, him being a registered sex offender, the fact that he's also a criminal outside of that. He has committed armed robbery. He has committed a murder. He murdered somebody. See, all of that, they feel like he's a threat to society. Because you not only have raped a woman, a young woman, but you also murdered somebody. So see, all of that can tie into them considering you a level 2. Now, level 3 is the worst of the worst. Level 3, you definitely have a perverse demonic predator. Level 3 is the worst case scenario, meaning you are a major threat to your community. No one cannot leave their children around you under any circumstances. So we're going to check another area. Okay, so here we got more registered sex offenders. We know their address. Incest. So this guy here, he touched a family member. He raped somebody in his family. And this happened back in 1995. It'll tell you their age, their race, what level they are. And it happened back in 1995. So this goes to show you, guys, once you register as a sex offender, that's a lifetime law you have to live by. It will never go away. It's not like stealing out of Home Depot or something. It can be expunged. Most registered sex offenders cannot have their record expunged. Once you've been caught, you've been caught. That's it. Now, like I said, it's not just black men. It's men of other races as well. He also committed incest. So he's in there as well. Like I said, these guys, they don't even look like, they don't have that type of look. But that's why you can't go by looks. Let's try this one. Okay, so here are more guys, more offenders. Assault with intent to commit criminal sexual conduct. So as y'all can see, I don't have to go through all of these. Y'all have a pretty good idea what I'm talking about. That's why I said you cannot judge a book by its cover. You have sex offenders on several different levels, so you cannot ever underestimate. Another guy here. We got a female. She's a registered sex offender. Sexual exploitation of children. Yep, you got women. And somebody brought that up earlier. I don't spare women either. A registered sex offender is a registered sex offender. So anyway, we're going to come out of that. Y'all already have an idea of pretty much what I'm addressing. So as I was stating, this is not something we need to blow off. Also, let me see. Again, registered sex offenders, they have a lot of rules and regulations. Like I said, Nicki Minaj's husband, he has a lot of rules. He has to walk a fine line. He has to report to his community supervision officer every day. Nicki is not allowed to have other children in her home. She's not allowed to bring him around other children. Is there a lot of rules? I've already talked about that. The lifestyle of being with a sexual predator. So if you ladies are interested in wanting to understand all of what you would have to go through if you were ever interested in dating a registered sex offender, I broke down all of the rules. I gave y'all all of the conditions that a registered sex offender must follow. So the last few items are, what triggers pedophilia behavior? What triggers it? You got some men, most of these perverts, that love control. Again, they get a thrill out of raping women. They love to surprise. They love to do surprise attacks. They like to run up on women and take advantage of women. They like to break into apartments. It's like a sick ass thrill for a pervert. It's a sick thrill for them. It turns them on. They actually get aroused off of, snatching a vagina. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but they actually like to snatch it. They get turned on by that. Individual has lack of confidence with women his age, so he'd rather go for younger women that aren't mature enough to challenge him. You have a lot of pedophiles. They are very insecure. They got low self-esteem. They don't have enough confidence to talk to women their age. They rather bribe young women who they know are young and dumb and gullible. They want to buy young girls or young women jewelry and bait these young females because they don't have the courage to deal with women their age. So that's a big issue for Pookie pedophile pervert. He don't have confidence. Next is they get a sick thrill out of sexually penetrating something innocent. I hate to be very graphic and vulgar with this. You have some guys that are so sexually demonically perverse, they like to penetrate something fresh and something new. They don't want a female that has already been penetrated. They want virgins. Something about a new vagina that no one else has entered. It is like, how can I say it? It's like, I guess, a prize for them. The fact that they get to penetrate first, and the fact that it is still tight and not loose, they get sexually aroused by unused vagina. I don't know what other way to say it, but you have some men who perverts. I don't want to say men. I'm going to say perverts. You have some perverts that are turned on by that. These pedophiles, they're turned on by that. They love to penetrate the innocent. I never forget, there was this video going around on Facebook where this grown man had like a 5 or 6 year old girl giving him head. It was all over Facebook, and yes, they did find the guy and they did arrest him for it. And when I say it was a child. She still had barrettes in her head while she was bobbing up and down on his grown man penis. This shit is real. That's why I am tired of black men and black women not addressing these type of issues in the black community. We want to talk about fuckery. What about discussing topics that's going to save people's children from becoming victims? Guess what? That could have been your daughter. That could have been your niece. That could have been your sister. And like I said, you have young guys now. Like I said, these guys that are 12, 11, 13, I'm getting 15 and 17-year-olds. They already registered sex offenders and they don't even have a high school diploma. And they don't understand right now because they're young and dumb, but as they become full-grown men, it's going to come back to haunt them. When they want to get a real job, they want a real career, they want to get married and have a woman. They don't think nothing wrong with it until they find out all the hell they got to go through behind being a registered sex offender. And being the female in a correctional facility, you have a lot of these guys, they like to jack off on female officers. And I noticed that most of them who do it are guys that are already registered sex offenders, that are already sexually demonic. These are the ones who like to jack off on female officers. Now, I don't tolerate it from them. I write them up immediately. And the thing about it is, if they have done it 3 or 4 times in the jail before they go out of jail and they get released to the public, they have to register as sex offenders. Queen says, I just remember the story of a teen who was molesting his cousin in elementary school. He was caught because he tried while she was distance learning and the teacher saw it. Absolutely. A lot of mentally challenged females, they get taken advantage the worst, Queen. They get taken advantage the worst. Like there was this pastor, he's not even a pastor. He's in prison now. He's incarcerated. Oh my gosh. He's on if y'all check him out on let me see, pastor. I'll tell you. His name, Tracy. His name should be Tracy Burleson. If y'all yeah, when y'all, I think this was one of the most sickest stories. When y'all log off, when I get ready to shut my content down, I definitely want y'all. I'm gonna share the screen because this was a very sick story here. I'm telling you, that's what I said. We don't want to talk on these sick perversions that some of these black men are doing in the community. I'm gonna share this with y'all as well. Entire screen. Yeah, there's actually a video on YouTube. Ex-pastor Tracy Burleson accused of convincing son to murder his wife. This was a very, 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 very tragic story, y'all. And of course, it's circulating around the pastor. Now I say these people who claim to be men and women of God, child by straight wolves and lamb's clothing. Basically, he used his son who was suffering from sickle cell anemia to help him kill his wife. And before this issue came about with him using his son to kill his wife, this man did everything under the sun in the church. He was having all type of affairs with women. Then on top of that, his wife, who he killed later on, she caught him having sex with a mentally challenged female in the church. I think it was one of the doctor's office. I think it was one of the offices, one of the pastor's offices. Yeah, she actually caught him having relations with the girl that was mentally challenged. But yeah, his name is Tracy Burleson. So if y'all look him up on YouTube, you'll see his story. There's a documentary on him, and when I said it's very, very interesting, I've never heard nothing like it. I think it's one of the worst cases. So yeah, you could put in Tyon Palmer and Tracy Burleson. There's a 43-minute documentary on him, and this is actually him right here when he tried to play crazy, like he didn't know who killed his wife and stuff like that. It's just a trip. Y'all got to look at it when we log off. It'll let you know how sick some of these men really are. And these are issues, like I said, it's not fair for me to be a black woman and address this issue. This is something black men and the black youth sector, y'all need to be addressing this. That's fine if you talk about black female fuckery, but let's not forget, we got bigger issues at hand. We got men that are going around here, raping women and taking advantage of underage children that really can't defend themselves, taking advantage of mentally challenged people who have mental deficiencies. A lot of, you seen it, Franklin? It was a trip, wasn't it? How he set his wife up to get killed. And he tried to play crazy. Oh my gosh. That was one of the worst cases I've ever seen. Stuff you don't even think black people would even do. But he did it. Yeah. So make sure y'all definitely check this out. So I'm not going to keep y'all long. I just owed it to y'all to do this part 2 because, like I said, it's a lot of sexual perversion going on within the black community. It's a lot of men that are struggling with sexual demonic perversion, and they're not going to take accountability, which is such a big word that everybody wants to throw around like hot sauce at a black folks cookout. Accountability. A lot of these men don't think they perverted. And in most cases, it's that if I ain't got caught, then I ain't doing it type of attitude. Long as you ain't catching me, that don't mean that I ain't doing it. You have a lot of people that have that attitude. If you ain't catching me, I ain't doing it. Until you catch me for being a pervert, you catch me for being a predator, I'm not a predator. I'm not a pervert. And when you catch them, they're going to find a way to lie. And then you're going to have people that's going to cape for them and lie for them and protect them. That's the world we living in. Everything that's right, people want to make it wrong. Everything that's wrong, people want to make it right. People want to condone. People give who they want to give a pass. Until it comes to a head, the people who cape for you, it eventually comes to a point where people caping for you won't even help you. It can't help you. No matter how many people was caping for R. Kelly or love R. Kelly, it couldn't help them. They can't help him right now. So, anyhow, I'm not going to go any further with this, but I will say this. Ladies, please be mindful. Check your registered sex offender list in your county. Check it every 2 to 3 months. It's a new pervert being added to the list every day, especially if you're a single woman. Because if you're out there dating and you're trying to meet a potential soulmate, you need to make sure you're not dealing with the man that has sexually demonic perversion tendencies. Same thing with you men. You got to be careful who is around your daughter, who you bring around your wife, who you bring around women in your circle. Because, of course, the pervert is going to get close to you. If he can get close to you as a man and make you feel comfortable with him, next thing you know, slowly but surely, he's working his way into getting close to the women that are in your circle. So anyway, I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging out with me with this part 2, the high value Pookie predators and the black community part 2. Also, I am going to be doing a live stream very soon, talking about the black bashing community, how there's far too many black female content creators and black male content creators that are promoting content that is based on bashing the opposite sex. Too many content creators are trying to entertain instead of educate the black community. So we're going to be speaking more on these type of issues. So anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for hanging out with me. This your girl, your diva, and knowledge lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off a slice of knowledge. Y'all be blessed, and y'all have a good one. Take care. Bye.